Hello.
Um,
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Terry, we can't see them with the,
I think,
You have to fix your settings for that.
yeah, I think it'll come up towards the side, like a little bit towards the corner.
yeah,
hmm
the chat was blocking it. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's mathematics education virtual information session.
Welcome.
My name is Genesis. I'm here on behalf of graduate admissions. I'll just be answering any questions within the chat regarding admissions questions. And today we have our lovely hosts, Dr. Girl and Dr. Arts, and they will be answering any questions regarding the programs that we have at Queens College and giving you more intel on the programs.
Yeah. Okay. So, hi, my name is Alice Arts, and I've been around this program for a long time. And we're very happy that you came tonight. We're very proud of the programs that we've developed. Like I said, one of the programs has been around for a very long time. Dr. Girl will tell you about it. It's very well known and well respected. And then we've developed newer programs rather recently. And we pride ourselves on our graduates and how well they do in the field. Many of them are very distinguished teachers, and a lot of them choose to go on to being coaches and chair people and sometimes even principals and taking on all sorts of leadership roles. So they're really very well polished when they come out of our master's programs. So my name is Alice Arts. I have been with the program for over 35 years. In fact, I was in the program when I was a student myself. I graduated from the math education program before I went on to my doctorate. And so I have a very personal interest that these programs are really maintained well and have the best people. And so we've, over the years, been tremendously fortunate to have hired the very best people who work with us now. So Dr. Terry Girl, she's in fact the advisor for the graduate program. So she teaches the math, excuse me? So Dr. Girl teaches the math ed graduate courses, and she's the advisor for the graduate program. And then most recently, about 3 or 4 years ago, we hired a graduate from our program, Dr. Mara Markinson. And she's not here tonight, and she's wonderful. So we have a wonderful staff. Not only that, we have an undergraduate program that brings in a lot of money and support from the college. So we're one of the only programs that has its own space. What do I mean by its own space? Well, the math education courses are taught in a designated classroom, which is our classroom. We have our own office together. We have private offices, but we have an office together. We have a conference room that we meet in, and that we can have small group meetings in. And we also have a dedicated lab. So the math education program is a close-knit community. Uh, and that's partly because we have this private space where we can congregate. So really our mission is not, even with the undergraduates, it's not just to develop fine math teachers. It's to develop transformative math teachers, people who will change things. And by the master's program, that really takes you to that next level where you can really make changes. And heaven knows math education is always in need of changes, and it's always changing. So we have several different programs. One program is designed to help you get initial certification. So it's for people who do not have a teaching license. Maybe they were math majors or other majors where they concentrated in math a lot, or maybe they didn't and they'll have to make up and take some math courses to enter the program. But that program is designed to have you get certified, get initially certified, and then get your master's degree along with that. Then we have 3 other MSED programs. One of them is the one that has been around a long time. That's the Math Ed MSED program. That consists of 15 credits in math, 15 credits in education. The other program is bilingual, and that's half math and half bilingual. And the other program is math and computer science, where it's half math and then 18 credits in computer science. So we have a nice group of master's degree programs, which Dr. Girl will speak about more now. And we'll take questions after we're finished.
Yes, of course. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Terry Girl. I've been teaching in the mathematics education program since 2008. So I think this is my 17th year at the college. I spent many years teaching high school in New York City schools. I taught at Brooklyn College before coming to Queens College, and I earned my doctorate many years ago at Teachers College. So I'll just build on a little bit of what Dr. Arts described. So we have programs for people who are already certified teachers, but I'm not sure if any of you are already certified teachers, and I'll just talk about those quickly because I suspect you're probably looking for initial certification if you're here, but we have 2 MSED programs for those, 3, MSED programs for those already holding initial certification. So if they're teaching, or if you happen to be from, let's say, you went to school upstate, or you went to Stony Brook or something like that, and maybe you already got your initial certification, and then you eventually will need just your professional. So we have the oldest program that Dr. Arts was referring to is the straight program in mathematics education, which is 15 credits of secondary education coursework, including educational foundations, educational psychology, and then a math-specific advanced methods course, and then 2 math-specific research courses, which I teach those 3 courses. And they're math specific, and they're to help you launch the second phase of the career, assuming that you have been teaching a while. You do some research, you learn about how to conduct action research, you learn how to do some more advanced teaching skills. And that's what happens in the mathematics education course. We also have an MSED in the mathematics education program, MSED. We also have an MSED in mathematics and bilingual, which has 15 credits of secondary ed, 15 credits of bilingual education coursework. Again, that ends in the research sequence that begins with advanced methods class and then 2 research courses. We have an MSED in teaching math and computer science. If you have a good deal, you have to have a lot of math and then also computer science coursework to enter that program. But that leads to computer science certification in New York State. I think more pertinently is the MAT program, which means that you either have taken you're either a math major or you've taken extensive mathematics coursework, perhaps as an econ major or as a computer science major, and you decided later that you want to teach math. That program has 2 phases. The first is a 3 to 4 semester initial coursework phase where you do the foundational coursework that gets you ready for student teaching. Then you enter student teaching, which is a 1-year professional experience where you're in the schools, highly supported by mathematics and education faculty. And then you eventually will finish student teaching, earn your initial certification, and come back and take 15 additional credits that lead to what's called your professional certification. And that would be the full master's degree. Our post-bac is basically the first half of what I just described. If some people come back and they have a master's in, let's say, straight math, or they have a doctorate in mathematics or something related to mathematics, and they are able to simply take the first part of that coursework and they don't need the second set of courses. So those are our 5 programs. Our program philosophy is we have very carefully designed these courses to support the learning of future teachers and in-service teachers. Our graduates are highly sought after. We are always getting requests to send for candidates. We'll get an email, we have an unexpected maternity leave or a retirement or something like that, and we need a teacher, and then we send it out to our listserv, and our graduates are very highly sought after. And so we have a listserv to help you get a job. There are schools in Queens that are almost exclusively taught by our graduates. And again, our graduates are highly sought after. We emphasize, one of the reasons for that is that we emphasize student-centered instructional strategies. This is not about just staying there and telling people how to solve for X. It's about getting students engaged, involved, get them to love math, get you to love math again. You'll learn some things that you might not have expected to learn. You might think you understand area, but then you might go back and say, "Oh, I never thought of area as being more than a formula." Things like that. We encourage you to look deeply into the mathematics, into the high school level mathematics. We have a very strong relationship, and our program is housed in the secondary education department, and we have a very strong relationship with the mathematics department where we can request particular coursework. We can call up the math chair and say, "Hey, we know we need these courses. We have a slew of master's degree students coming in, and these are the courses we need." And they always are accommodating. And we have excellent math professors that do the math coursework, and we have excellent education professors that do the education coursework. And finally, we support you every step of the way. The 3 of us, through the various points of coursework, are available through email, constant contact, through just letting you know what's going on, when to register, how to register. We really, I think our students feel consistently and constantly supported because we always make sure that they have what they need. If we see that there's an issue, we don't let you just go through half a semester not doing well and then, "Oh yeah, you're not going to pass this class." We make sure we're on top of it. If we see signs that you're maybe not as doing as well as you should be, or there's something happened, that we make sure we reach out to you and give you the supports you need. Finally, here's our contact information. This is a general. I'm going to put a few things in the chat right now. I'm going to put what we call the concentration forms. So I'm going to enter that into the chat right now, and I'm also going to cut and paste this link and put it into the chat. And I hope you can see those chat links okay. These are our emails. They're available through the website I just shared, and they're available through the Queens College website. And that's it from our presentation. I will stop sharing. I can reshare if anybody has a specific question about something on this slideshow. So I'm going to stop sharing now. There's information for you in the chats about the different programs. All right, do you guys have any questions? Oh, great. Yes, thank you. Okay. Assuming you have all of the prerequisites in mathematics, and if you're an international student, what we usually do is send you to someone in the math department to make sure you have the equivalents, and they will generally tell us. Sometimes international students come in and they'll say, you know what, you say you only have a bachelor's, but you really have a bachelor's and a master's level mathematics coursework, or sometimes they'll say you need to take a couple more math classes. So the range is really, it could be anything. So the mathematics faculty look for your math coursework. We also, for international students, recommend you send your international coursework in mathematics up to the state so that the New York State Education Department can evaluate. Because sometimes they don't accept things that, you know, you have to understand that we are sort of a vehicle of the state of New York, that we have school requirements, and then we also help you meet state requirements. So assuming you have all of the prerequisites, which you may or may not, we would have to have a further conversation. I'd have to analyze your transcript, you know, send me that through an email. Assuming you have the prerequisites, which you may or may not at this point, although it sounds like you have a lot of mathematics, if you enter in the fall, it takes 4 semesters to be initially certified. If you enter in the spring, it takes 3. And then after you take the initial coursework, then you have 5 years to take the additional 15 credits in master's coursework. Those are 5 courses. However, 3 of those courses are math courses that can be done at the same time as the initial coursework. If you look at the MAT concentration form I placed into the chat, that will give you more information about that. Now, you say you have a master's, Mr. Chatterjee? Okay, so you would need full so you would be eligible, you would need the MAT program, which has that post-bac plus additional master's coursework. So you would need, so it would take you 3 or 4 semesters to do the initial part. And then it depends on you have 5 years according to the state, and it depends on if you want to take some of those courses prior. It depends on what mathematics coursework you come in with, because if you have to take courses to make you eligible for initial coursework, for the initial certification, then you won't have as much space in your schedule to take the master's coursework. I hope that makes sense. What I would suggest your first step be is simply email me your transcript from India. And what I'll probably do is look at them, and I will suggest that you make an appointment with someone in the math department. His name is Dr. Blendy Koroveshi, I think is how you, Koroveshki. And he will, you know, you have to set up an appointment. Usually you come in and he'll just look at your stuff, and he'll email me and say, yep, this person's good to go. You can admit them. At that point, though, I usually advise you to send your same coursework up to the state, just in case they want something different, because sometimes there's a little bit of a difference between what the state wants and what the college wants, because we have to meet college requirements and we have to meet state requirements. So there's a tiny bit of it. Sometimes there's a tiny bit of a difference between those. I'll put my email in the chat so that you have it handy.
You asked about the structure of the coursework. You should know that Dr. Girl mentioned if you enter in the fall or enter in the spring, it's either 4 or 3 years, respectively. Either way, starting in the spring, you will have a course that meets during the day, that meets from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a student-run type of course. And then in your following semesters, the 2 semesters following that is beginning student teaching and then full student teaching. So that fall semester, that second fall semester, if you start in the fall, or the first fall semester, if you start in the spring, you will be in a public school 5 days a week for 3 periods a day. And then in the spring semester, you'll be and during that setting, you'll be teaching with a partner. Not every day, but it, if the cooperating teacher allowed you, it would be great if it was every day, but it doesn't have to be. But in the spring semester, you actually take over one or hopefully two classes that you teach every day with a cooperating teacher in the room. And of course, the college supervisors come visit you and work with you, and there's seminars, etc. And you're placed in local schools. You get choices. We give you a list of schools that you choose from. So those 3 semesters would involve during the day work. Yeah. And the math courses are all in person. There are no online math courses. Some of the education courses might be hybrid. Usually not, but some are.
You will be put up by so when you enter our program, we have a certification officer who once we check you off and you apply to graduate and all the the details that you have to do, what happens then is that you automatically get what we call put up to the state. So you get certification through the college. So you don't have to enter, you have to just enter your name and show that you want it, and you check a box, and then we have a certification officer at the college who interacts with the state to make sure that happens. So you don't have to do any of that yourself. You do have to set up an account, but I will probably recommend that you'll do that pretty soon. So you'll have to, it's called a Teach account. Of course. Oh, we have, so there's different types of technology. So we have the delivery technologies such as PowerPoint. We have what we call smart boards, which I'm sure you're familiar with in India teaching. We have smart boards, PowerPoint, all that sort of delivery software. But more importantly, we encourage the use of dynamic learning software such as Desmos, GeoGebra, and those are really the main ones. And then there are also technologies that are for, let's say, problem generation, like what's Delta Math, things like that. So you don't have to make up homework assignments. You go into Delta Math and say, generate an assignment about solving quadratics or something like that. And you know, that students do it through that interface. In terms of AI, we've actually done a bit of work in AI. Dr. Arts, Dr. Markinson, and myself we've recently published a paper on the use of AI in education, and we are interested in ethical and appropriate uses of AI. We're very conscious of perhaps students using it to replace their own work, which we don't approve of, but to use it as perhaps a brainstorming tool or something to check our work or something in that context. We've done, I've used it a bit in my research class to have students, try something themselves and then see what AI does and compare it, and is it any good? So if it's used in a thoughtful and reflective way, not just let's just do this and see it, and just, tell the AI something, throw in a prompt and then let it run itself and just use what comes out. So any technologies that we use, we make sure they're reflective practice is a big part of this program, and we encourage that in all dimensions, including teaching, including use of technology, including choices of mathematics approaches and problems, and we emphasize motivational strategies and things like that. So all of these things go across all aspects of the program. Dr. Arts, is there anything you want to add?
No, I just want to say that, as I said before, we're a very healthy program, and when students find any technologies that they feel should be purchased or licenses that should be purchased, we purchase them. So we try to stay on top of things with regards to what's ever going on in the field.
As far as far as visas, I think you would need to deal, I think that's a question for graduate admissions. Genesis, can you address that question?
In regards to visas, I think you would have to talk with the overall counselor, Cassandra Winters. I'll put her email in there because she oversees like everything graduate admissions. I'm more on the hand of like application statuses, but I'll make sure to forward it and send you the email so you can contact them. And sometimes it just depends on the county and everything like that. And I think Bazaar and everything like that would be able to help you find that information. But I'll make sure to put the information right now in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. There any other
Any
questions?
questions? The person who's just said bye, do you have any other do you have any questions? Maybe not. Okay.
Okay.
No. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
coming.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Nice to meet you.
It was very nice to meet you. I look forward to receiving your email. Okay. Of course. Sure.
Sure. Depending on what time. Well, we'd have to arrange a time. So, okay.
You email, you just let us know your availability and we'll make a time that meets, that works, and you can come to campus. We're on campus in the spring, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm on campus, I'm sorry, I'm on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Dr. Arts will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that'll be.
I think you'd like to see the suite, the math education suite. You'd get a feeling for the intimacy of the program.
And I put in the email, it's grad@qc.cuny.edu. And then they'll be able to answer all the questions. And then on our website, we also have the links to anything that might be needed if you want to know more about the programs or anything graduate admissions. The links are all there.
So you would email grad for the questions about visa and general admissions questions, just like how to get your documents there. But anything about the mathematics and your mathematics coursework, make sure you email me. Okay.
Yeah, the emails that are up in the thing. And then their links, their websites can also be found under there with their emails and all their information. So where you can contact them and everything like that.
And the form, I put 4 forms. The one that applies to you is the one that says MAT. Okay, so I would just download that one. Do you see it? It's the last one on in the chat. If you scroll up, you see it's not the MSAD, it's the MAT. Okay. Is that clear? Okay. All right.
Were you able to down? Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. If you have any more questions, like we said, we have them definitely here in the chat. If you want to get any of the links needed, they can also be found on the website, or personally, you can email both Dr. Girl and Dr. Arts personally to get more information regarding your specific status. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you have a great one.
Thank you for coming. Good luck.
Keep it coming. Bye-bye.
Bye.